Welcome back to Kontroversy. If you just tune in, this is the shows about news, views, and attitude again. And the next subject is by me. This Tuesday, it just brought up to the cabinet meeting that the Office of the Civil Service Commission tried to push out the legislation for sexual harassment prevention. It passed, but it didn't come out as a paper or anything yet. It's still under process. But I would just think it's a good initiative. But if you look into a little more details of the regulation, it's still kind of broad and
do you want to explain what the legislation is about?
Yeah, it's the first is the sexual or physical contact such as kissing, holding, or touching certain parts of the body. Okay, that's understandable.
Right.
It will, you know, the complaint can be made. The second one is sexualized talk, such as criticizing or joking about body parts, telling dirty jokes to an unwilling audience.
So if
that's
the
very
audience
vague.
willing,
yeah, no, I mean, you know, Thai way we will say, "ไม่เป็นไรค่ะ it's okay ค่ะ and then behind your back they will complain about it. How do you know
Or
they're like
some days you take it and some days you don't. Maybe some days it depends how far the particular joke crosses borders, right? When it's appropriate and when it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good initiative, but maybe they need to look into this more. And the third is the sexual gesture. When they say sexual gesture, it means like the way people look at each other and
the glance.
Look at the illustrator. Yeah,
that's very sexual.
What if that person have eyes problem? What if his eyes always look like people have sexual intention? What if he's like,
or he's got a glass eye or something?
Would the regulations be kind of similar to that? Like, did we look at the Western, I guess, the legal system over in the Western part of the world where they already have sexual harassment act in place? Like, how do they detect that? And how do you investigate?
And this is also include sending email messages, letters, pornographic content.
But does that mean that people are going to be checking up on your emails and your?
I think it's
that's data privacy now.
The thing is, a person have to make a complaint to their boss, to their supervisor, and the supervisor will launch a probe or whatever and see if it have any ground. The thing is, it's only applied to the civil servants, cover 381,000 state officials, 90 ministries, and office of provincial governor office nationwide, but it does not cover teachers, educational personnel, university staff, members of the army, police officials, and judges. So what, they are genderless?
Do we have it before?
No.
We never have a sexual harassment act ever.
I wonder why the army's been excluded and teachers as well, because those are like hot spots for this kind of behavior, right?
I tried to look into a couple articles through a couple newspaper about this. There's an explanation why it's not covered that area, but it does say that somebody proposed it before during Thaksin administration, and Thaksin think this might make small thing getting to be too much of a trouble, so he didn't pass it. But it's because we've
ignored these things in this country.
That's why it gets more severe, right? So I just think it just need a little more
clarification, maybe.
Yeah,
I think it's a good start.
It's a good start, but it need more details, and people are going to use this as a loophole
and cover a wider scope of people as well.
You need the actual another independent body to do this, because if we're talking about sexual harassment, most of the time the supervisor or people who have more power over the other, they're the one that abused it.
They said if the victim or the one that got harassed, it covers both civil servants or anyone that come to contact to work with the state officials or civil servants. But the one who commit the act have to be the civil servant, like under the government.
So what if someone comes in, like a janitor, for example, a cleaning guy who happens to work in the office for a civil servant office? Is he not covered? Or like a lady who comes in to clean.
If the cleaning lady got harassed by a civil servant,
and she's in the premises
according to this, yes, she can make a complaint.
She can, okay.
But the thing is, you have to make a complaint to her supervisor. And supervisor will be the one who see if there should be a probe set up, but that's when the problem come in too, because most of the time supervisor is the one who, you know, make a move or whatever. But this can also be used as a loophole. It's really construct if it become a paper later that if I don't like my boss, I can just say he look at me sexual way and I feel uncomfortable.
And this does happen a lot. You know, people you know, file lawsuits because you know, their boss looked at them inappropriately or whatever. People do take advantage of the situation.
So it's kind of go both ways. But the thing is also, if we have this act and people's complaints, then the investigation sometimes is even hurtful. I mean, for women, you know, even in rape cases,
you have
because you have to like dig
right. You have to be tough about that too. That will be another subject.
Thinking about Thai, exactly. Thinking about Thai society in general. And women aren't generally very forthcoming with this sort of information, or like you said, embarrassed perhaps about.
Well, because the talk afterward, which is more painful than an actual act. Most of the time.
Look at Monica Lewinsky. She's got job and money and stuff.
Well, yeah, but she's living in the U.S.
Well, yeah, I know. What did you say? What about her? She's the one who do the thing with
Bill Clinton.
She's like, I do Bill Clinton, that kind of thing.
She did Bill Clinton and made a big buck off it?
No, it's like somebody kind of, it's become news. And Bill Clinton was kind of denied for a while, so become even big news, and then he admitted later. But yeah.
Well, the good thing coming out of it is that at least Bill knows
she got her
now
own
that,
show too.
You know that is not allowed. Like you can't do that just because you know you have a higher power or you think you're a man. And
but
you can do that.
I done.
There you go.
But he didn't make her do it.
Well, you know, he did not stop her from doing it either. I mean, grown man, say no, people.
Takes two to tango.
I heard she's a pretty smart woman too. You know, be able to get to work into the White House and that kind of thing.
So showing the case of abusing,
abusing this kind of. The thing is, when this finalized, the Office of the Civil Service Commission will publish the manual, the handbook of this regulation and how it's going to work and things like that.
I think it's great.
Yeah, but I look into it. At the end, if they decided you did commit the Sexual Harassment Act, it will be just as you what's it called, disciplinary misconduct. It's not that severe, the punishment. So we have to see.
It's a step forward.
Yeah, it's a step forward. At least we have something.
Disciplinary as in they could get suspended or fired?
Probably. It said it will mild. Not,
and do you know who will be looking into like writing up this bill? I mean,
it will be the Office of the Civil Service Commission.
They should have a separate watchdog, though. Someone who's overseeing whether this is being put in place effectively as well. Because as you said, if the supervisor denies, you know, I never looked at her that way, then...
Do you mean more study?
Not more studies, but once it's in place, just have a separate body that's not involved with the civil servants or government organizations.
That cannot be controlled or influenced.
Right. But you mean for it to come out with the legislation, right?
Yeah. And plus, we have to make sure that there are enough women who are writing out, you know, in part, like participated in writing out this kind of bills. Because men
can I be more specific? You know, not super conservative women, but a little more liberal and open-minded.
Yeah, but you know, it's hard. At least, you know, first step is make sure that there are at least some women.
There will be some women in that commission.
Because I'm pretty sure when this came out, you can actually see the difference if men
wrote it or women wrote it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can talk about it more.
Cool.
If it ever come out.
Cool. Anyway, we'll take a short break and we'll come back with another story from golf. Don't go anywhere.